they feel most comfortable and confident doing that is by putting the same stuff that they've always put on the grid.
More energy could mean more greenhouse gas emissions. That story and so much more in about 15 minutes. It's a cold start to this Friday, January 17th. 27 now and mostly cloudy, going up to sunny 40 degrees today, but feeling as cold as 20 degrees. It's 6:52.
New data show Republicans and Democrats tend to like money for Medicare.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Clear Channel Outdoor, offering a nationwide network of billboards and data solutions that help businesses build brand awareness and influence consumer behavior. Billboardsforbusiness.com.
I'm David Brancaccio. First, with surveys not complete, authorities count about 12,000 structures destroyed in the Southern California wildfires. Rehousing and rebuilding involves insurance in most cases, and these disasters came at a time the insurance market in that state was in flux. This weekend, California officials are launching a new effort to help people navigate the insurance maze. Ricardo Lara is California's insurance commissioner. He spoke with my colleague, Nova Safo.
The claims process, that's top of mind right now. What can people expect?
What we are looking at is making sure that the claims are paid fully, fairly, and as quickly as possible. That is my goal. And we've put insurance companies on notice to do the right thing during this crisis and support their customers, that many of whom have been with them for years, paying their premiums fully and on time. You're going to see insurance companies either reaching out personally to their consumers and also setting up disaster vans to be able to access their consumers as well. We are working on these insurance workshops, and this is really important because these are one-on-one with wildfire survivors. We do appointments with them, and we connect them to their insurance representatives that are all in one room so that we can get the claims process quickly moving and hopefully get them paid as quickly as possible. So we're urging people to call us at 1-800-927-4357 to make an appointment. We'll take walk-ins, but we really want to have people call our department so we can assess their policy, make sure they got the documents they need. If not, we can get those so that we, again, get them through the claims process as seamlessly as possible.
What does paid fully and fairly look like?
Well, that all depends, right? We want to make sure that whatever the consumers signed with the insurance company, that the insurance company is contractually obligated to meet the terms of that contract. And those are going to be, different by individual and by region. But that is my goal and my commitment to consumers, to make sure that the insurance companies meet that contractual obligation to the individual consumers.
Insurance payouts could be offered way before people know how much it will cost them to rebuild. How are they supposed to decide whether to accept a payout offer or not?
That is a great question. And this is something that we want to make sure we keep Angelenos on their toes in terms of making sure that when you're working with an adjuster, that it's an adjuster that knows what they're doing. We are approving some out-of-state adjusters, but we are making sure that they understand what the rights are of the consumer. And so what we are recommending to consumers as they're going through the adjuster process, one, make sure that they're legitimate. You can, again, call our number. We can do that verification for you. What we're also telling consumers, take your time. Don't sign anything under duress. Be leery of people soliciting you, especially on the site. That's important. And one of the things that we're also telling folks is, as volunteers are cleaning these sites, make sure that you take pictures before so that we have visual confirmation of the damage. And the insurance company cannot fight you on that. We're also telling people you might want to create a separate email that is just dedicated to the claims process. So you have a documentation of your entire communications with your insurance company, with your adjuster. Should something go wrong or you feel that you're not getting what the insurance company is contractually obligated to give you, we can access that data on your behalf and make sure that we make them whole. And if they don't, that also serves us to go after them legally.
California Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara. He mentioned that phone number. You can do an online search for the words California Insurance Commissioner Hotline, and that number should pop up. Among our interviews this week, we also heard from a representative of the insurance industry. Marketplace.org has on-demand versions of our coverage. Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ futures are all up in the 4 to 0.5% range. An unnamed administration official is telling the Associated Press that President Biden will not enforce a ban on TikTok that's set for Sunday. This will leave the platform's fate in the hands of President-elect Trump. We also could hear this morning from the Supreme Court about a free speech challenge to the bipartisan law that forces TikTok to sell to a U.S. owner by this weekend. Its owner, ByteDance, is based in China, and U.S. officials worry Chinese authorities could use the platform to transmit propaganda and misinformation to TikTok's 170 million U.S. users, or to use the personal data harvested by the platform against Americans.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Progressive Insurance. Progressive is currently looking for individuals in a variety of career fields who are interested in building a career and joining an inclusive and unique culture. More information, including application, at progressive.com/careers.
From the advisory group on government efficiency to an incoming Republican Congress, deep cuts to the federal government are promised this year. Among areas to be reviewed, Medicaid and Medicare. But that spending is popular among voters, both Republicans and Democrats. That's from a new poll out just now from the health research organization KFF. Marketplace's Elizabeth Troval has that.
2/3 of Republicans polled say funding for Medicaid should increase or stay the same, and their support for Medicare is higher, while Democratic support of funding both programs surpassed 90%. Ashley Kurzinger is with KFF.
In a rare moment of partisan agreement, both programs are viewed favorably across the political aisle.
And there are economic and health reasons the public wants to fund these programs, says Tim Layton with the University of Virginia.
Medicaid is probably the best deal health insurance program that we have in the U.S. They pay doctors very low rates and they get health care for pretty cheap.
As for Medicare,
everybody has an interest in ensuring that when they get on Medicare, when they turn 65, that it's a good, well-funded, and well-functioning program.
He says without these programs, more Americans would be uninsured and sicker. I'm Elizabeth Troval for Marketplace.
And General Motors has been banned from sharing or selling data on the behavior of GM drivers for 5 years. It's a settlement with the Federal Trade Commission for what regulators say was a misleading sign-up system for something called Smart Driver, part of OnStar, linking GM cars to the cloud. GM sold the data about speeding or late-night driving to intermediaries where it affected driver insurance rates and credit scores. I'm David Brancaccio. This is the Marketplace Morning Report. From APM, American Public Media.